You don't see too many rooms like this in Greece. Welcome to Turkey. So my room that you just saw there, again, isn't like anything you'd find in Greece, but it's also cheaper. It was 600 Turkish lira, which is $10 US. And that came with internet. And last night I went for a dinner in the center of town in the main park. Went to a little restaurant. Got a plate full of these little spicy beef patties with a nice salad with onions, lettuce, and a loaf of freshly baked bread and a yogurt for 15 lira, which is $2.50. So that is quite a difference versus Greece, where if you had a meal like that, it would definitely, almost certainly be over 10 euro. So pretty big difference there. And I'm expecting some more differences here as we continue through Turkey, culturally, etc. And that is one of the reasons why I'm really excited for beginning this journey through this country. Let's have our first day in Turkey. City of Tekirdarg. I just saw a sign that said, I think it said population of 200,000 people. Which I wasn't really expecting, given that I haven't really heard much about the city or anything at all. But Turkey does have a population of 80 million people, so I was bound to run into some folks at some point. Okay, thank you very much. I think I will find it. That guy was pretty nice. You could tell I was not sure where to go. Told him I was looking for a hotel. He recommended I not stay at the ones next to the water there. He said they were too expensive, or not too expensive, but expensive at 100 lira, which he said was like $40, which it is not, because the lira has dropped a lot recently. It is actually like $17 or something. But anyways, he told me to go further into town, gave me some precise directions that I don't think I'll be able to really follow here.
I can learn German.
Speak German?
Speak German, yeah.
Wow. Where did you learn speaking German?
Okay. Nationalität?
Sorry?
Land. Nationalität.
I don't speak German.
No, German. Oh. Okay. Yok, Alman değil.
Well,
Gel çünkü gideceğim ben. Çoğuluya gideceğim. Saat kaçta? Şimdi biraz sonra gideceğim.
so I did end up finding a reasonably priced place downtown for 70 lira, which is $6.20 US. But the woman at the reception, I don't think had ever seen a passport or ID that wasn't Turkish. So she was kind of dumbfounded as how to fill out the registration for staying at the hotel. But being the experienced traveler that I was, I pulled up Google Translate and was able to assist her. But then later when I went to shower, there was no hot water. Which a cold shower isn't exactly the most relaxing thing before trying to go to bed, but not the worst thing that could happen to someone. And besides, today we have blue skies, which should be a good backdrop for another awesome day in Turkey. Silivri.
Rahat olmadığını, rahat olmadığını biliyordum. Kemikleri sızladığını biliyordum.
Yep, yesterday was pretty cool. Nice weather, pretty relaxing day. But the tables have turned. This morning things were pretty wet and dirty, and I'm having to take really congested and noisy roads. But it's not for nothing, because soon we'll be in Istanbul. Some guy pulled over like I was in a race and handed me this fancy chocolate bar. Pretty sweet. Alive in Istanbul, and it seems like a pretty cool city so far. Very multicultural. In fact, I've met a new Iranian friend, Samin. She's in Istanbul working on a big story. She's a journalist. So you're not going to want to miss it. What's going to be the name of your story?
I don't know. You catch me. I don't know yet.
She's not ready to disclose that information yet, but it's going to be a groundbreaking story. So just look out for it.
I was a journalist, not now.
But today we're not going to be doing any serious investigating. We've seen all these fishermen here and we figured that we can probably get some pretty good pescatarian eats. Fish sandwich and some pickled vegetables. How does it rate on the fish scale, Sabine? How many fish on the fish scale?
The fish scale?
That was a lot of bones for a fish sandwich, but it's pretty good.
Yeah.
I'd say 6.5 fish on the fish scale. Some nice ashtrays. So after having spent a few days in Istanbul, I can say with some confidence that it's a city that you can spend quite a bit more time in. There's a lot of things to do and see and eat, and a lot of interesting history attached to that. But the road keeps calling my name. Or in this case, the boat calls. I was originally planning to cycle out of Istanbul on my way to Bursa, taking this big bridge that goes across this bay. But I was talking to one of the guys working in the hostel, and he said that it's a toll bridge and I don't think cyclists are allowed. So he then recommended that I take a ferry to Bursa from Istanbul, which won't be quite as exciting as bicycling through the city, but maybe that's for the best, since when you're bicycling through the busy streets of Istanbul, you're not really soaking everything in, you're more just trying to survive. So we've made it to Bursa, but we're still about 30 kilometers away from where we'll be staying in the city.
Cars will not turn signal and directly, because my My friend from Germany had an accident because I don't want anyone else accident have to.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
I'll be careful.
Take care and inform your mother and father family, okay?
Okay,
When you're safe, don't forget to inform them.
okay. Thank you. Have a nice day. $70 lira, about $11.50. Should do the trick for getting some good rest, so we can explore Bursa in the morning.
İkinci kata bak zaten görürsün. Yazıyor. Ne kadar mı? Yine adam. Şimdi öyle bir şey söyledik ki.
Oh.
Ahmet ayarlayın mı? Ayarlayın mı?
Yok ona da. Kötülük yok orada bir bak.
The small city of Bozuyuk, or Boyuzuk, something like that. Which is where we made it to, over 100 kilometers from Bursa. Got a nice room for 70 lira with a free buffet breakfast. Pretty good deal. But we might not be living so luxuriously tonight. We'll only be encountering small villages on our route today. So it looks like there might be some wet camping in the forecast. So the landscape was just plains with no trees for cover for wild camping. I did eventually find a restaurant slash gas station along the highway, and I went inside, got something to eat, and asked one of the guys there who happened to speak English if there were any places that I could sleep, a hotel or camping or anything, and he said no, not really. I mean, not around here. So I go back and I eat my meal, and then I'm thinking that after the meal I'm going to ask him if I can camp there. But when I go to pay, he says that the meal is on the house, that it's free. So I figured, well, I'm not going to ask to camp now, that he's already done me a favor. So I keep bicycling and I get to another gas station. This time I go inside and I kind of pantomime and gesture that I'm looking to sleep somewhere. I was trying to tell them that I had a tent, but I don't think they understood that part, and they said I can sleep in, I guess, what are meant to be these places where you can just kind of sit down, and I don't know, maybe they are meant for sleeping, but just these kind of sitting spaces next to the gas station here. So I've kind of it's not quite long enough to put my tent up. I mean, I could sort of put it in, but I don't really see the point that much. It's not going to make a big difference here since I'm mostly covered. So yeah, should be an interesting experience here. Curious to see if I'll get any sleep. So it turns out this was not a good place to sleep. I don't know if you can see it, but the rain from outside would just kind of, I didn't realize that this was a lower area, and it would just accumulate here in this little structure here. So all my sleeping stuff got wet. It is midnight and I've not gotten any sleep yet, and doesn't look like I'll be getting any tonight. So I ended up setting up my sleeping arrangements on the bench part of one of the shelters and ended up getting a little bit of sleep. Hopefully that'll be enough reparations to make it 60 something kilometers to the next large town, where hopefully I'll be able to find accommodation. Sivrihisar. We made it. This place looks cool. And they even have a hotel. So I ended up getting a room for 75 lira, which is like 12.5 US dollars, with Wi-Fi and included breakfast, which is pretty sweet. Got some good rest, and then I woke up to this. Guy just pulled over and gave me a bunch of Turkish treats.
Bak bu niye?
Almonds.
Protein.
Yes.
Tut bunu. Oh. No problem, no problem. Okay.
Thank you very much.
I'm sorry, I don't have a...
It's okay. I'm not in a hurry. Oh wow. It looks like sushi almost.
It's nuts inside.
Oh, okay. That's good.
Yes.
Very interesting. I've never had anything like this. Turkish people are really sweet. So we've made it to Ankara, Turkey's capital city. Pretty massive city. And I did some research this morning and it looks like there's quite a few things to see here. So I'm looking forward to that. But to see those things, you'll have to tune into a separate video coming up on the channel, Ankara City Tour and History. That will be coming out after the videos of the neighborhood of Fener and Balat in Istanbul and the video of Bursa. So I hope you've enjoyed this journey through northwestern Turkey. It's a pretty cool introduction to the country. People are very welcoming. The food is pretty awesome. And things are pretty cheap right now since the lira has gone down significantly lately. And after that, we'll be going through central Turkey, going through the Cappadocia region, which is probably the more famous, one of the more famous regions of Turkey for its geography. It's supposed to be a very visually striking area, so I'm really looking forward to that. And there's some cool things to see within it as well. And if you've been enjoying my videos bicycling around the world, and you'd like to see as many videos as possible, and you'd like to help me keep the journey going, you can do so by supporting me via Patreon. There's a link to that in the description below the video. And if you're new to the channel, I've been, like I mentioned, bicycling around the world. Previous to getting to Turkey, I went through Central Europe. Before that, bicycled through Eastern Africa, and before that, the Americas. And all of those videos from those adventures are available on this same YouTube channel. If you'd like to see an interactive map of everywhere that I went and everything that I got to see and do, that is available over on my website, followthehumoftheearth.com, where you can click on the different locations and see the various blog posts and videos that I've made of these places. If you'd like to follow my continuing adventures bicycling around the world, you can do so by clicking on the red subscribe button and then clicking on the bell to be notified when new videos come out. Hope you guys enjoyed. Have a good one.